road I have ever done. Enjoying our slow-ass walk up to the Pokemon League. Whew. Alright. So, welcome to Elite Four prep, y'all. We have 5 battles back to back that we have to prep for. They are obviously the hardest battles in the game. I think I have decent encounters for right now, like both the encounters that I have left and the things that are still alive. So I'm optimistic, but we do have a lot of planning we gotta do. And as I did in previous battles, I am going to try to limit the amount of healing I do in each major battle. Ideally not healing with items. Ooh, pretty.
I love that it goes on like it's like watercolor going on something.
Yeah. Alright, so that rival battle was mostly showing off the power of speed. Because Crobat's really fast, Swellow's really fast, and I just kind of got to kill everything on his team before he did lots of damage. I'm like shocked that Crobat didn't drop to that wild charge though. But Swellow, I think it is time to box you once again. Beartick, I imagine it is time to box you once again. And then I want to try to build without Lando if I can. If I need to put Lando back on the team, I will. And I think... Does Gyarados have a better matchup or Empoleon against the Elite Four? I don't know. Honestly, we should probably actually just box everything and figure out what we're doing from there. Okay, so one thing I do know that I have been planning for the Elite Four, honestly, since before Getsus. Keldeo, this is like the reason I got you. Keldeo matches up extremely well against Grimsley to the point where I'm actually probably going to fight Grimsley first and just try to sweep with Keldeo, I think. Because water fighting type does exceptionally well against Grimsley. And I think as long as I prep for that, I should be okay. Okay, so I actually kind of wanted to talk about this now that we're back in like team prep stuff. I actually didn't realize this when I was teaching moves, but I taught over bounce thinking that I would be able to heart scale it back on, and it turns out you can't because it's specifically a Magikarp it's for Magikarp. But you have to heart scale it as a Magikarp before it evolves into a Gyarados if you want to heart scale it back on. Kind of confusing, but basically we don't actually have Flying Stab on Gyarados anymore. Whoops. That was my bad. But that's okay.
Oops, I didn't mean to do that.
Dragonite actually doesn't have too bad of a matchup against the Elite Four.
Didn't even grab the gift yet. Whoops. Gardener.
Pretty much, fella.
That is
I think Snorlax with Crunch actually should match up fairly well against Chantal as well. Okay, so we have Gengar, Keldeo, Snorlax. We do also have Shiny Eevee that we can cash in finally.
There we go.
I've been trying to hold off on evolving Shiny Eevee because I wasn't sure what I was going to need it as.
This one's all really has
But like... Okay. Before I get too far into this, and before I start planning too much, let me go oh, I guess I'll go ahead and turn off the repel too. Let me load up the Firefox window again. And let's start to review all this, shall we? Unova Elite 4, page 12. Okay. Alright, so the Elite 4 and Champion battles. If you don't know, in Black 2, White 2, I believe as well as Black 1, White 1, but I'm not 100% sure on that. You're actually able to choose the order of the Elite 4 that you battle in. So like you still have 4 trainers that you have to battle, a ghost trainer, a dark trainer, a fighting trainer, and a psychic trainer. Actually pretty interesting typings to have to try to take on as an Elite 4. And then Iris, who is the dragon trainer. But you're actually able to battle all 4 of the trainers before Iris in any order you want, and you can heal between battles and stuff, as well as actually teach over moves and stuff between battles, which is something that a lot of other games don't really have access to. I don't know, I've kind of been doing it throughout the playthrough, but there's an opportunity, depending on who I battle, order I battle them in, there's potentially an opportunity for me to teach over a move that I'm not going to need for the rest of the TM move that'll be super helpful. I don't know if I'll have to do that, but it is an option. So let's go ahead and review the Elite 4, I guess. So Chantal has... Let me type this out actually, because I'm going to be bouncing around a lot. Ew. I'm not doing E4 tonight, Mark. I am starting prep for it, though. Also, hi. How's it going?
I think those are just for clothes. You can have... Oops.
Shadow Ball, Attract, Disable, Toxic. Ew. What a... Of all the sets you could have chosen. Right, fucking Elite 4, Attract.
Oh, there we go.
I know it's normal mode, but come on, Drayano. Yo, this Sableye cool, though.
Oh.
And this Golurk is a huge threat.
I know where I needed to go, though.
And... Okay, so... Sableye, this is a really cool set. I'll go and explain it now because hopefully I'll kill it before it has an opportunity to do what it wants to do. Lagging Tail is a move that always makes a Pokemon move last. It's to be like a hindrance item that you like give to someone. And Sableye is able to do that with a combination of Trick and Prankster. So basically, what ends up happening if Sableye does what it wants to do is it goes for Trick turn 1. Because Prankster boosts it and priority, instantly goes first, unless I'm using like Aqua Jet or something. And then it tricks me, the lagging tail, so I move last in my priority bracket, so it can just start going for Will-O-Wisp and Foul Play and stuff, and whatever it wants to go for, and it'll always be faster than me. This is a nasty Sableye. This Chandelure is terrifying. Shadow Tag makes it so if it switches in at any point in the battle, I just immediately have to kill it. So I'm gonna have to make sure that anything I have in this battle has an opportunity to kill Chandelure, because that coverage, if it comes in at the wrong time, basically gets a kill.
Oh yeah, well I mean, this isn't my first day playing it, so there's some stuff that I like
Okay.
but
Also, I guess worth mentioning now, the only time I have completed a Nuzlocke in this generation is actually one of the only times I've completed a Nuzlocke, period. And my Elite Four run in that one, battling Chantal with 3 Pokemon, and it is still one of the most tense battles I remember ever having in a Pokemon game. So I might try to do into the Elite Four while I still like have a bunch of Pokemon available, because
and I love it. Oh my god,
this looks tough.
I love that.
Pretty much am. Okay, so let's go on challenge mode. Also, the Elite Four level cap is the maximum level that Iris has, by the way. So I'm gonna be slightly over leveled for some of the starts of these battles, but absolutely every advantage I possibly can. Okay, so next up, we have. Oh, interesting. He actually doesn't even have the Zoroark on normal mode. So in challenge mode, he actually has a Zoroark, which like theoretically is really scary, but because he has like all dark types, it actually isn't really at all. Because everything that Zoroark is disguising as, like Zoroark is also weak as. There's a decent chance that this team is actually better. Scratch that. This team is absolutely better. If only because of this. Fuck you, Drayano. I do not have access to a choice scarf without grinding the Pokemon World Tournament, so I don't know why you would give that a choice scarf. That sort of makes it a lot more difficult for me to sweep with some Keldeo. Okay, so we have normal gem boosted fake out, as well as Thunder Wave, Prankster Spam.
Oh, you go up like this? Oh god.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably either gonna hack battle points or just grind for it. Seeing a choice scarf sort of opens up my options for me here. I wasn't gonna use choice items in this playthrough, but seeing that Drayano casually has choice items in the Elite Four sort of makes it fair game, I guess, right? So this Liepard, honestly, is just be annoying pivot. I might want to slap a Lumberry on Keldeo. Okay, hold on, wait. Slap a Lumberry on Keldeo. Sub on the turn that I get Thunder Wave. And then just wreck house for a minute. There's a decent possibility that sub Keldeo does pretty good in this fight, actually. Let me type this out so I have it in the chat too. Honestly, typing things helps me learn it a little bit more. We have Normal Gem, Prankster, Lipard, Life Orb, Moxie, Honchkrow, sorry, Scarf, Moxie, Crook. So one of the, I guess if y'all don't know, let me explain. Choice Scarfs are items that are normally used in competitive Pokemon only, and they give you a 1.5 times boost to a certain stat for the exchange of you're like locked into one move, and it's specifically the first move that you choose. Depending on the time and like placement that this Crocodile comes in, for instance, it could be very, very hard for me to deal with. Like if I don't have a flying type at that point, or a levitate mon or something at that point, it could just spam Earthquake. It'll instantly get it'll be 1.5 times faster than it normally is, because that's what a Choice Scarf boosts is speed. And then it could just basically get as many Earthquakes off as it gets, and if it gets a kill, Moxie boosts its attack, which then just starts to snowball. So this set is probably his scariest set, I would say. It looks like everything else on the team, Dragon Dance Scrafty is also pretty gnarly, like I don't want to undermine that. And we lost a Pokemon to Bisharp earlier, so definitely not going to worry or like overlook that. Focus Sash on Houndoom is also a little tough. High Jump Kick does get cheesed with Protect, but I am not running Protect on anything that's taken this thing on, because if I Protect on a Dragon Dance, first of all, I feel real dumb, and second of all, I'm in a really, really, really bad spot. I think that's why Dragon Dance and High Jump Kick, because it sort of does punish the Protect play there. It's an option, but I feel like if I'm in a 50-50 where I have to guess if he's going to go for a High Jump Kick or a Dragon Dance, that's not a great situation, especially since he can also just fucking Sucker Punch also. I don't think Scrafty normally gets Sucker Punch, but the fact that it does in this game is actually pretty tough to deal with. Okay. So, Grimsley is scary. Keldeo has a pretty good matchup against him, though. I'm gonna be honest. This team looks easier. Hot take. I feel like challenge mode team is actually easier. I guess I could be wrong, but I feel like outside of Weavile, like, I mean, even with Weavile, like, Keldeo just fucking destroys this team. Interesting. Okay.
Way to get over there?
To get over to that side or that side?
That, or takes you back over here.
Can you go through the trees down to that bottom one?
That's why I can't figure out how you're supposed to get to that one.
Can you go onto the left screen and then down and around?
Potentially.
Like maybe you do have to get down there, but you have to do the other, I guess. Yeah, this way seems kind of more explory. Okay.
We got
The Psychic type Elite Four member has a fucking Trick Room team. Oof. Okay. Alright. So, Trick Room. So, since everything on this team except for Metagross has Trick Room, this is officially just a hard-ass Trick Room team, which means that all of these Pokemon who are normally slower become faster through Trick Room. I can potentially take advantage and pivot around and play out Trick Room turns and kill stuff on room or like on turns where it goes for Trick Room. But this honestly, like the other Elite Four members look scary, but this looks like the first Elite Four member that I don't really have anything to deal with right now. Okay, so Sash, Analytic, Trick Room, BM. I do have Zoroark still, which I might take advantage of. The AI doesn't really play around Zoroark super well. So that might be worth taking advantage of here. Lefties, Trick Room, Musharna, Life Orb, Magic, Life Orb, Magic Guard, Trick Room, Reanquist. That's pretty much the best that you could have on it, I think, in my opinion. Well, the only reason I was potentially thinking not Zoroark is because I was potentially gonna evolve Eevee into Umbreon. Which, like, is actually kind of funny because historically I've sort of been an Umbreon hater. Like, I really like its design, but it doesn't really, like, typically deal with very much. But this specific Elite Four looks like Umbreon actually does surprisingly well. Like, if I could just get Umbreon with Foul Play, really, and maybe, like, other, like, potentially even Pursuit Umbreon. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'll have to run Calcs and stuff, but, like, realistically, Umbreon, depending on what hidden power this is, I'm going to assume that it's hiding or bug or something that's super effective against Dark. Because otherwise Umbreon completely walls BEM. Umbreon completely walls Musharna. If I can stall out Focus Blasts, which actually isn't impossible because I could just pivot back and forth between Gengar and Umbreon. I should also stall out room turns. Switch pivots like this will actually be pretty helpful here, because Trick Room will also stall out then, and when the opponent actually goes for Trick Room, it's always going to be the last turn. That would be a gnarly set. I don't know if I'd go that mean. I think I could probably get by with Foul Play, potentially Toxic, but potentially even just a more bulky offensive Umbreon. Not even really offensive, but just bulky with some offense. That's it. We have another Shadow Tagmon right here, as well as the Tanga Berry, which reduces Bug-type moves. So, yet another situation where basically anything I do in on this battle specifically has to be able to kill a Gothitelle, or you turn out. This is another nasty set. So, Eject Button is a really cool item where after you switch out, And Regenerator is a really cool ability we actually got to show off earlier in the playthrough with Audino, where after you switch out, you get a third of your HP back. So basically the plan for this is to process the room, and then get a hit off, get hit, switch out, and then immediately pivot into one of the other really hard hitters. Yeah, there's some cool sets in this Elite Four. Some tough stuff to plan around. And finally, Air Balloon Metagross, which has Bullet Punch. Okay. Strong Dark type. Potentially Umbreon. And leaning Umbreon. But let me confirm that there's not like a better evolution for the other for. Alright, so Marshall is either gonna go really well or really badly, because Marshall has a lot of very hard-hitting offense. And the problem with a team of strong, fast, and bulky fighting types is Marshall sort of stands alone in the Elite Four in that, like, Flying type is really good for like 90% of the game, but it doesn't really help a ton in the Elite Four. Marshall really, like, even looking through the coverage and stuff, like, there's not even really like ground coverage and stuff. Sorry, they're like trying to dodge with Flying type super often. That said, obviously a Flying type is helpful here. I don't see... Okay, there's Koba berries or anything, which is helpful. So, the one thing I'm worried about, like, Lucario... Okay, so, there's a couple things I'm worried about with Marshall specifically looking at this. First, Throw and Conkeldurr are pretty much bulky enough that I expect them to sort of take a hit no matter what. Unless it's, like... I don't know, like if I have Gardevoir Calm Mind boosted or something like that, I pretty much expect those two to live any one hit and then potentially kill whatever's in. Gut Swallow. Gut Swallow isn't too bad here. I was gonna say, but unfortunately it doesn't really help a ton anywhere. Well, I don't want to say it doesn't help anywhere else, but Guts strats are a little harder to manage in the Elite Four because it's typically easier to heal up without, like, I don't know. I'm not against Swallow because it does seem like my best flying type for this fight so far. But I do still also have my Victory Road encounter. And I still do have the evolution that I can evolve. The fact that I still actually have Victory Road encounter is pretty big, because if I am missing really anything from my Elite Four team, I can pretty much get it from Victory Road. Like, they have a lot of different Pokemon I can choose from there. And I mean, like, I guess I'm not guaranteed to get anything, but I can at least, like, try to hunt for what I'll need specifically, I guess. So, just to type the team out, leftovers, mold breaker, throw. I don't really know if mold breaker impacts anything directly, but I am going to type mold breaker down. Life Ward, E-Speed, Lucario. Also, the fact that this... Okay, so... I like Swellow here, but I'm not sure if Swellow Okos with Facade on throw, which would mean I would either have to use Brave Bird, which is a lot of recoil, or pivot around. And pivoting around on fighting type teams is generally not a great idea, especially one that's this hard hitting. Does it get acrobatics? Ooh, that's a good question. I want to say, but I'm actually not sure at all. Let me put a save state here before anything. Yeah, I was like, my game's not responding. No, my controller has just fallen asleep. Acrobatics is a TM, right?
Thanks so much, Flush. You have a great
Thanks.
night. Thank you so much for coming by. Oh yeah, I saw this. Where am I? Where am I? Oh. I forgot that I was still like small.
You can learn acrobatics. That's interesting.
More litter. Now we can go down here. Oh, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Oh yeah, look, now we're in this spot. Alright, we're in some new places, yeah?
Yeah, that's pretty exciting, actually. That sort of changes things, because if I didn't have a stronger move than Wing Attack or something, I wasn't going to be able to bring Swallow, but Acrobatics actually stands a pretty decent chance of doing the damage that I need it to do.
Okay, we're in a boss fight. Oh no, it's a cave. Okay, we're in a boss fight.
Yeah, Flying Gym Acrobatics is also just helpful throughout. Especially since there's a decent chance to pivot between battles and use Silk Scarf elsewhere. So there actually is a pretty decent chance that Swallow comes to the Elite Four now that I'm looking at it again. Especially after you recommended Acro. That was a good call. Muscle Band. Okay, so Sock being sturdy means I have to pivot on that as well.
It's beautiful.
God, Stealth Rocks would be so nice in the Elite Four.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Is it... Okay. Is it worth bringing Tentacruel to the Elite Four for Toxic Spikes, as well as a Psychic Bait Spadaf wall. Hear me out. Hold on, hold on. It's also technically. It's probably not a Lucario counter. It does switch into a Dark Pulse. I mean, it's not okay. It's not like the top of my list, but it is. It is an option. Whether it's a viable option is something to explore later. But Toxic Spikes does deal with everything. Yeah, so like literally the only reason I'm even like seriously considering it is because of Toxic Spikes, but because Toxic Spikes are so good against like all of the Elite Four, it's an option. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really expect Tentacruel to potentially be coming as much as it has this game. Like, it already came a bunch in the 8th gym, which is super nice. But the fact that I'm even considering it as an option for the Elite Four is pretty cool. Okay. Oh, that's the Elite Four. Okay. And then champ battle against Iris. The dragon trainer that has 2 non-dragons also, which actually slightly complicates things. Okay. Let's type this out, figure it out. Yachi Berry, Dragon Dance, Dragonite. Didn't mean to type multi-scale, thank you. Yachi Berry, multi-scale, Dragon Dance, Dragonite. Life Orb, Sheer Force, already terrifying. Dragon Dance with 3 coverage moves that are affected by Life Orb, Sheer Force. Oh my god, this for Alligator is nasty. White Herb, Hydreigon. Hydreigon is scary, but potentially manageable. I guess depending on when it comes in, it's scary. Flying Gem, U-Turn. Edgequake, Archeops. Oof. Light Clay screens superior? She has fucking screens? Oh my god, this champion battle is rough. Okay, so we need to build a team of 6 that beats these 5 teams of 6, which is not easy. It's manageable, but it is not easy.